Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you all from wherever in this world that you're watching this session. Welcome. This is Vijay Talreja from Adapty. Today I'm going to talk about a topic which is very close to the hearts of all businesses, primarily retailers. It's about content powered customer experience strategies to drive customer engagement in commerce. As you all know, in the current situation, the best way to reach out to your customers is through digital platforms. As businesses, all we have is a small mobile or a desktop screen to display our products to our buyers in the most efficient way by using content to engage our customers and explain our products, features, services. And here, the right content placed at every touch point plays a key role in driving your customers' engagement and also customer action leading to some commerce, right? So let me first start by giving you a quick background who we are. We are a company which has been out there for last 12 years, about 200 people, largely focused at doing digital solutions in the customer experience and commerce space. We have more than a decade experience in developing and implementing enterprise e-commerce platforms for many of our clients across US, UAE, and India. Uh, we also partner with platforms and product companies like Oracle, Sitecore, Magento, Insight, and Salesforce, and implement their enterprise product, customize them to our clients' needs, and help our clients go online and also taste the success of omnichannel. We've been doing this for many years. In this presentation of mine, I'll be actually sharing some of our implementations, some of the examples that we have done over the past, and we currently even doing with our clients. To put this in a nutshell, we are somebody who believes that any complex problem can be solved with true partnership and a customer-centric approach. For us, the customer is the most important factor here. I mean, if you look at, as you would have noticed from a previous slide, we had a 99% retention of customers. So that's like a repeat client percentage of 99%, which is not possible without a lot of teamwork that we've done and giving the right kind of customer centric solutions, and most importantly working with our customers as a trusted partner to solve their business problems. So that's about Adapty, and that's me. I'm actually the co-founder and a director of Adapty. I look at sales, marketing, and partner development function at Adapty. More than 3 decades of experience in the technology space. Been around for quite some time implementing solutions for enterprise clients. Um, we've been at Adaptive largely focused at not just commerce but also building customer experience solutions, and that's really our forte, which is what I'm going to really talk about today. So let's look at what are the current CX issues out there. I'm sure some of these you would be very familiar with, and some may not be. But let me just talk about a few of them. So, and this is of course coming from our experience with serving a lot of clients across the globe. One of the things that we've seen, while most of them believe that they're doing omni-channel reach out to their customer, it's not really omni-channel. See, customers are today connected through social media. These are platforms where you would not only just reach out to your customers but also influence their buying decisions. Now, one single good review and one single bad review can make a lot of difference. We all know that, right? Which is why it is important that we are not just using social media as a platform to reach out, but to also engage. But connecting and engaging with customers at every point of interaction through the buying journey is very, very important. And that's really the essence of omnichannel. So it's not just about omnichannel, but it is also about connecting these dots together and driving the whole customer experience and making it more and more enriching, engaging for a customer to come back and then start loving the brand. The other one issue that we see is not is that we see platform not using some of these advanced integration. Now, whether it's customer data or collecting any kind of customer information, understanding a customer behavior, which generally you see is stored across multiple product platforms and technology at any enterprise architecture setup. What is not uh, what is not possible at times is to really have everything in one single platform. But what is important is that any data that you're storing is accessible to your customer experience team, because this is what powers their decisions. This creates an if you don't really get this together, then it creates an issue to sync every data of customer and keeps the flow constant for your customer experience team. So it is important that you have data which is not just consolidated but also making sense for your CX team to be making reasonable decisions for driving your customer. The other thing that we see is that decisions made are not really real time. It's not so real time that as we would believe it they are being doing, right. So CX definitely can influence a customer typically at three key points. One is when you're possibly going live with your site, with your product, or with any platform, or you're engaging somebody for the first time, and then also making some real time changes. It is also important that when you see a customer behavior changing, you should know how to sort of change your speak, change your messaging, and most important, look at what the customer is telling you. Look at what feedback that you get from the customer and make amendments to it. Make changes to the way you approach and react to a customer. Now, CX teams often face issues to adapt to customer journey, and a lot of time this leads to not being able to provide the right level of personalization. Also, taking time to add a new touch point on the fly to resolve issues with an existing customer experience platform is a big pain area. So, a lot of time we've seen that while an enterprise will say that yes, we're making real time changes, but these issues tend to bring them down, make it more monolithic than really real time. The other issue that we see is that it's not really a self-serve platform. It's not a self-serve business at times. For now, the current issues that we see in customer experience strategies that these are largely make and forget implementation. CX is not about make and forget. It's more about evolving the experience. It's about getting it. It's more about being there and influencing rather than just getting it right all the time. So you try and focus at making it right all the time, you might miss the bus. But what is important is that you need to be where your customer is and being able to influence their behavior. Uh, Also, during implementations, we've seen that it is advisable to always look at making shorter improvements, and then also over the time making big changes. Now, if you look at this slide, here there are quite a few stats that I'm putting up, and these are platforms that we work with and companies that we have dealt in the past, and market leaders in their own space. Now, what is important that you need to look at is if you see what messages that they're giving you. Like for example, um, Adobe had this report that it came out. It said 22% of companies felt customer experience was the single most exciting opportunity for the organization. This is, I think, many times that you would have heard this. Um, Even Oracle says that 59% customers switch brands due to poor experience, and 40% are willing to pay more for better customer experience. What it essentially means to you and to us is that the investment around CX is imperative, but at the same time, it is important that you leverage these thought process or the thought leaders that they're telling you to then go back and implement it in your strategy. Now, moving on, let's take a look at some of these strategies, and I will definitely talk to you through this by taking some examples. So it's not only about just telling you what a strategy that you need to adopt, but we'll also walk you through some of the examples, a real example that we've implemented with our clients very soon. So some of these things, for example, we say today commerce is driven by experience and how we connect customer experience, content, and commerce through a seamless omnichannel experience. Now, this again, a lot of your partners will vouch for. Even your own teams will love to hear and want to implement. But we generally see that many of them sort of miss uh, the essence of it, essence of putting it together in the right way. We'll soon talk about that with some examples. The other thing that we believe is consumers begin their shopping journey with your brand through an integrated approach, through an integrated process of promise, search, discovery, evaluation, and then making purchases across channels. Again, very important point that I'm trying to put here. I'll soon take an example and go through it. What makes them make their decision to hit the purchase button, or abandoning the cart? It's really a seamless, personalized experience, right? End of the day, what you're telling your customers, what you're positioning to your customer has to be what your customer wants, right? It's not about what you want to sell them, but it's what they want to buy. So moving on, like I mentioned, I would be sharing some examples of implementation that we've done. Here is one that a brand company that we truly love, and I'm sure they do the same because they've been around for quite a few years with us as a client, and we've been serving them for many years now. So here's a great example, and this should also relate to the strategy that I was talking about around customers discovery, evaluation, and purchase. Vitamin Shop does this beautifully with help of content and video formats. It gives customers more confidence and develops a value proposition to their customers by telling them how to use their products, how do you then apply these products in your life, and how do you leverage them for being more healthy. The best part is that these videos are very, very nicely integrated with the website, and hence you don't really see this more like a content site, but it's actually a culmination of content and commerce. So it's a very seamless journey for someone who's consuming the content and then leading to commerce, or somebody who comes in to make a commerce decision, but using the content could also become a loyal customer for you someday. So putting this together, I think they do a fantastic job. Another example again from Vitamin Shop. Um, Now, if you look at some of these tips that if on the site, they give a lot of help tips, recipes, and user stories. Now, all this is synced in a very nice way. It actually mirrors how your e-commerce platform also looks at. So when you really go there, it makes your experience so beautiful, so easy, so seamless that you don't realize that you are actually reading a tip and then you suddenly now part of a commerce platform. It actually leads the customer straight to making a decision over there. It makes it very, very seamless for someone to consume content and lead to commerce. That's a great example that I would ask all of you guys to go browse and look up on it. And I'm sure you would love to adopt what we've done for them. Another example of a client of ours, Barney's New York, which today is a company acquired by Saks Fifth Avenue in the US, a great example of personalization and giving a feel good factor for every customer. If you look at it, Barney used to come up with lookbooks. Now, these lookbooks were designed by some of their ace designers. Some of them were also known in the industry, fashion designers who would come together to create lookbooks. And most of these were specifically targeted to audiences, to their TGs that would generally be buying more often on their site. Now, by displaying these products using models, it made the whole experience very nice. Here is another one from Barney's. Now if you look at it, they don't just talk about product, but then even the navigation of their site is very seamless. The whole style of the site, the way they position a product, the way they put content on the site, it's very seamless. And again, this is something that really led them to uh, a great online experience and a great online business many years back. Uh, Moving on, there's another example that I would love to talk about. Lancome and Alpha, again, great brands. But if you look at what they're really doing, they're really showcasing their brand history, which is a very powerful content for any brand to build and to create trust with the customer. Right now, for every brand, there has to be there ought to be some kind of a history or a story around it. It's important that you bring that story up front and connect with your customer so that you're able to then build the trust and develop a brand promise. Again, brand promise, as I said, is one of the key strategies that you should focus at, and this relates to that. This is a great example to talk about it. Yeah, so I think this is something that I would really want to today talk to you about. I would like to end my presentations here and take any questions if you have. I hope you like the presentation. I would be happy to discuss more. Sorry if the time has been too short for this presentation, but you can always connect with me via an email or connect with me on LinkedIn or over a call. But definitely meet our experts at the stall number D60 on the 16th and 17th of November at the Seamless event. So we can definitely meet there, have a cup of coffee, and then talk more about this. Please drop in your questions in the FAQ box below. I would be more than happy to answer them, and I look forward to meeting you soon. Thank you.